All right, new update from Albion Online. Let's get into it.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this Albion Online Dev Talk. Today, we are back with our second Dev Talk in the three-part series introducing our upcoming Abyssal Depths update set to launch on June 30th. In our last Dev Talk, we gave you a high-level look at our upcoming focus on instanced PvP content, a way to deliver intense, small-scale encounters with better structure, matchmaking, and rewards.
Really looking forward to that.
Today, we're diving into the fire, quite literally, with a deep look at the Antiquarian's Den, the revamped ecosystem of hell-themed features and rewards, and the new content available. Let's head straight underground.
At the heart of this new update sits a brand new PvP dungeon type called the Depths. These are instance dungeons for 2 or 3 player groups, so risk-seeking solo players can enter alone if they dare.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that solo players can enter alone. That's really good.
Depths are a dungeon-like environment filled with enemies, valuable loot, and the most dangerous threat of them all, other players. Players inside must balance risk and reward, deciding when to push deeper for better rewards or when to escape with what they've already collected. Ultimately, success depends on surviving long enough to extract safely with the loot before being overwhelmed. Once you enter the Depths, you can't just go back immediately. You and everyone else who entered are trapped inside the dungeon for a limited but undisclosed duration. During this time, your only option is to survive, loot, build your power, or fight. The early stage of the dungeon focuses on clearing rooms of enemies. When all monsters in a room are defeated, the demons reward your efforts with temporary buffs, or sometimes with loot. These buffs persist across dungeon levels, as long as you remain inside. They offer both power and a strategic incentive to engage with the dungeon's full layout rather than just rushing through.
Well, I like that. I like that. Having good incentive to clear the dungeon for those perks is a really good idea.
Along the way, players collect souls. Hostile souls come from defeated enemy players, neutral souls from monsters or players who forfeited the dungeon, and friendly souls from your own fallen allies. These can be carried and used in several ways. Hostile or neutral souls can be offered to the demons at the Altar of Greed in exchange for loot. Friendly souls left behind by fallen allies can be brought to the Altar of Awakening to revive them. This ensures that even if your team suffers losses, a hard-earned victory still gives you a chance to continue the dungeon together, rather than leaving one player to face the rest alone. Once a certain amount of time has passed, the exits begin to open. At that point, your group must decide: play it safe and leave the dungeon with what you've earned, or descend to even greater dangers for even greater rewards. Each deeper level increases both the challenge and the potential payout. The third and final layer of the Depths is where only the bravest players venture, a place designed for the ultimate confrontation between players. Here, the stakes are at their highest. Within this layer lies the Depths treasure vault. To access it, players must locate and carry multiple keys scattered throughout the level and deliver them to the vault. Though the riches it offers are high, it doesn't come without risk. Other groups will fight for the same reward, and escaping alive becomes more difficult the deeper you progress into the Depths. The entirety of the Depths play out under a new PvP rule set, Orange PvP. This is Albion's new transitional rule set, bridging the gap between knockdown and full loot PvP. Orange means on death, players retain the equipped gear but drop all items in the inventory. This makes it less punishing for new players, while still providing value to kills due to the dropped loot from their inventory.
Oh, I like that. So basically, when you go down, you just lose what you've collected so far in the dungeon. You don't have to worry about the loot that you've got equipped, which means, on a side note, people will bring in some pretty nice gear for these things. So it'll be pretty top-notch PvP.
Also, since players don't lose gear, the depths are item power soft capped, And this rule set is also what makes the revival mechanic in the depths possible, because revived players keep their equipment on death. They're ready to join the battle again after revival. With the depths offering instant PvP encounters.
Wonder what he means by soft cap for items. Maybe you can't bring in tricked out gear. I don't know. We'll have to see.
And meaningful loot to find and protect. Orange PvP creates the perfect environment for learning Albion's risk versus reward PvP. Because players are locked into the dungeon until exits open, every decision carries weight and every fight matters. The rule set strikes a careful balance between risk and accessibility, allowing players to hone their PvP skills, test strategies, and experience the thrill of structured competition, all without the harsh consequences of full loot. So, where can you enter the depths? They can be accessed directly from any royal city through the Antiquarian's Den. This sinister hub in the heart of the old aqueducts serves as a central access point to all our hell-themed PvP content. That means access to the depths, but also corrupted dungeons and hellgates. They can now all be directly played from a single location in your city. This den is not only intended as an entry point, but it's where players gather, can find teams, and prepare for the action ahead.
That's cool.
Whether you're forming a group, gearing up, or re-gearing.
It's bringing me flashbacks of World of Warcraft where you would like stand outside the dungeon entrance and wait for people to show up to join a group with them because there was no dungeon finder.
After close call. And they also offer a local bank connected directly to each player's city of origin. This location is built to support quick and efficient entry to your PvP content, directly accessible from your city.
Bringing all of these features together under one roof not only enhances the experience, it also gives us the perfect moment to revisit two of Albion's most iconic instanced PvP modes. Hellgates and Corrupted Dungeons have now been fully integrated into the Hell-themed ecosystem, and with that, we've taken the opportunity to address some of the most common player feedback. For the longest time, the biggest complaints around Hellgates and Corrupted Dungeons have centered on three things: poor accessibility, slow and sometimes unfair matchmaking, and a lack of compelling rewards, especially at the lower end. By relocating the entrances to these features into the Antiquarian's Den, we immediately address two of these core issues. First, accessibility is significantly improved. Players no longer need to travel through the open world to participate, making it much faster to jump into the action. Second, with all players now entering from a central hub, matchmaking pools are larger and more tightly clustered in terms of skill and readiness, improving the fairness of matchups across the board.
That's good.
On top of that, we've made a set of targeted improvements aimed specifically at matchmaking logic and loot balance. Matchmaking is now faster and more consistent. Infamy no longer scales loot, and at the same time, we've raised the baseline loot values across the board, in particular in Corrupted Dungeons, to ensure better rewards from the very first fight. Now, let's talk about the Antiquarian, the shadowy merchant in the den who offers hellish rewards to those with sufficient antiquarian standing, a newly introduced PvP progression system. Antiquarian standing is earned by completing Hellgates and Corrupted Dungeons, or by defeating players and offering their souls to the demons in the depths. All rewards are purchased with favor, with higher tier items requiring higher standing. Available rewards include a Hell-themed avatar and matching avatar ring, the Demon Cape crests from tier 4 to tier 8, and 2 mount babies, the tier 5 Hell Spinner and the rare tier 8 Soul Spinner. These spider-like mounts can be raised on your island.
You know, guys, if you think about it, this update that's coming is going to blow this game up even more because people are going to network through this system that never tried open world PvP. And they're going to build friendships and groups and all that kind of stuff. And then they're going to get out for the open world PvP. This is just a win-win across the board.
And the Soul Spinner comes with a unique new mount spell. This system encourages long-term progression in the Hell-themed content and gives instanced PvP players a way to engage meaningfully with Albion's economy. That's it for the second Abyssal Depths Dev Talk. a deep dive into all things Infernal. We're incredibly excited to get this content into your hands and to watch how you tackle the depths, build your strategies, and make these features your own. We can't wait to see what you do with it.
All right, guys, this is really good. Awesome second update. Definitely stoked. Thanks for checking out the vid, guys. Post in the comments what you guys think, too, about the update that's coming. I think it's a win-win across the board so far. Looking forward to the last update, though. Take care. Stay classy. God bless.